and what allowed me to grow in the space. And it literally was him being like, yeah, you could fuck it up. Yeah, fuck it up. He didn't even say you can. He said,
like,
fuck it up.
Fuck it up. It's fine.
Of course it feels like trash.
Does it feel like trash?
It for sure feels like trash.
I think what feels like trash is like I'm finally in a place where I can look at what I did to survive, and like including the choices I made along the way to survive, like because just choosing the familiar. And I'm finally somewhere where I see that those skills aren't necessary and they're actually detrimental to my growth at this point. But I'm not done doing that, I guess. Like, I don't want to be judgy, and I don't want to say fucked up things to people I like love and appreciate and care about, and I do. And I'm trying to figure out why that is so that I can actually stop doing it.
Critic.
Yeah.
Inner critic and outer critic.
Yeah, I was taught to be really harsh on myself, and I definitely project that outwards, and like it's not necessary, and I assume the worst, you know, when I really didn't have to. Like, because a lot of those conversations actually turn out really, really beautiful. Like, it did really have a beautiful conversation that like made me tear up because it was so beautiful.
And I think that's what's beautiful about the journey is like when you do start walking it out, even like when he was talking about I first approached him, like I did have that energy of like, yo, I know this is a bold move for me, but outwardly it looks like a timid move, you know? And it's like the more you do those timid moves and you get comfortable with like potentially fucking it up, like at first I was like, I'm gonna do some irreparable damage here. That was my biggest fear. It's like, there will be no going back from this thing. And now where I'm at, I'm like, if it's words, it'll be all right. Like, even if it's the most harsh words.
If you're really bonded with people, it's hard to destroy a bond with words. Is it possible?
It is.
Yes.
But
it is
but it's
possible.
very, very hard to do when someone is really about you. That's the part that's like big in this, right? Like when Devin showed up, because we are talking about it a little bit, he was already thinking that he was gonna be gone.
He
didn't show up and be like, let me tell you.
I'm
gonna say this, but I'm not coming back after that. And I'm like, I didn't speak. I hadn't said anything outside of I'll meet you here, right? And then when he told me, I was like, I don't know what and before we went, I don't know if I told you this, but I was talking to Ashley. I said, I don't know what the fuck you about to say. I said, but I'm about to sit there and listen. I said, and I pray that it's something that don't make me want to reach across the table and pull him by his coat. That's what I said, because it'd be crazy, because sometimes people say crazy shit, right? But I didn't have nothing against Devin, but also this was the moment he moved towards respectfully becoming a man and creating a relationship between the two of us, because people would be like, yeah, y'all best friends. I'm like, no, we're not. Like, we're not good friends. Like, he works for me. And again, I'm not trying to say that dishonestly. I just know I need a certain caliber of person to call them a friend. And I remember, I forget who it was who heard me, because you heard me too. And you were like, heard. And then all of a sudden, he was rude as a motherfucker. And I was just like, but what'd he say? Oh, it was true? And then people would ask me, and then I would co-sign the thing because he was giving out truths. No, he wasn't saying it in the best way, but it was true. And that's important for your journey. See, again, if you are giving, it's okay to be critical of things. It's okay to protect yourself. The skills you learn from that time frame are because of the things you identify you needed. But if you go back, I just was talking about the monster and the coat rack, monster being the coat rack being the monster. If you go back, when you identified, the moment that you realized what it was your ability to choose how you use it, okay? That is super important, because I am very, very pointed, right? You see me, my head's on a swivel like all the time, right? It's a thing for me. I couldn't sit like this if I didn't trust y'all with my back to the window, right? And that's important to know about a person, right? I used to use it to be super paranoid. Somebody talk to me too fast or say some shit I don't understand, I would hop up and be all over you because I didn't understand what you said. So in fear, I would rather attack you first than get hurt. look at the thing. But really, my analytical nature could be used a different way. Now I use that same analytical nature to help people by going over and saying, well, I saw you do this and it led me to believe there might be something going on at home. Let me read, you know what, you got a lot of bags under your eyes. Let me go home and read a book about like overall health and see, why do people have bags under their eyes? Yo, are you iron deficient? Oh, you're iron deficient. Yeah, how'd you know? Lucky guess. But it wasn't a lucky guess. I looked it up. I wanted to know, right? Like I was like, I'm gonna use the same nature to help people. You know the things you don't want to say because you're afraid to say them? I now know what you might say because I've done the research to figure out what someone in your position might say, right? Then when I start to do it, then I learn about it, then I'm like, okay, that's what that is. That's why I said the Body Keep Score was good. Because even in that book, there were so many different studies and other things that were being said, but what the end result was is that there is nothing like a space that allows people to make mistakes and stay there. Like I was like, that's crazy. That's the space, hands down, and that's why we all feel comfortable here, right? There are so many spaces that will tell you it's okay for you to mess it up, and the moment you do,
you're fired.
Cut your hours.
Yep.
They'll stop letting you show up. Just be your authentic self, right?
Yeah.
But what they're really saying is
It's a
stay
trap.
within the confines of the place that we're comfortable. There have been so many conversations here. You was like, people turn around like, yo, I don't know how that's gonna go after this. And sometimes those people are the ones who exit. I'm uncomfortable about this. You're uncomfortable about the truth.
Something else.
I'm sorry about that. I've literally had, like, I remember me and Teresa would go back and forth sometimes, and someone would stop showing up because we went back and forth. And I'm like, that's crazy, right? I'm not doing it. And again, neither one of us is upset at the end of the conversation, right? We're just going back and forth. It's banter. You know what I had to learn? Even the way I present myself is for me, right? My authenticness. I'm not trying to be the black white guy, right? I'm not, right? And sometimes if you don't know the lenses or if you ain't seen them different, you might think that's what it is. But everybody know I'm just a country boy. At my heart, if you talk to me, you get to know me, I'm a country boy who loves his family. Like, that's really what I am. But you wouldn't know that because I present myself very militant, right? So a lot of people they can't figure it out. They need that box. Then I'm extra hard, and then you see me be soft for my son. Hey, something wrong with that dude. Seriously, that's what people think. It's weird to them. I'm more than one dimension, but the world plays it being one. And all I'm talking about is using your skills differently. My hypervigilance became the way I protect my family, the way I protect the space. It went from the way I attacked people, so I didn't get attacked first, to protection. Attacked to protect. What are you protecting? What are you doing? What's your thing that you've had to do before that now could be used? You did it as a teacher, do it now. Do it now, right? Like, don't act like you don't know how. You're just trying to figure out here. And you talked about context is important, but way more, confidence is followed by efficacy. Again, another word I've been using a fucking lot lately.
Facts.
Right?
That's
and
a good word.
It's again, you gotta keep doing the thing. It doesn't say do it when you feel good. It says keep doing the thing, right? That's why I love the whole do it anyway, do it happy, do it sad, do it angry, do it frustrated. Like, that's why I love that, right? Nike been hitting it on the head for years with all their campaigns and everything else. They got it, right? I'm gonna share with y'all that you probably seen it. The clip of the dude who's running and he's talking to himself, and it's two different sides. It's a beautiful clip if you listen to what he's saying. His doubts, his fears, his insecurities. And literally in that video is what you're talking about right now. He said, I got us this far. He said, but you won't get us further. I gotta keep going. He was like, you better not leave me. And he goes, he's talking to himself, right? And he said, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And he starts taking off, and you can see him leaving the old version of himself. Again, it's important. Yes, it got you this far, but it won't get you further.
Yeah.
It's afraid of further. You understand what I'm saying? That's the ownage. That's why I said, if you can find that coat rack, it's not a monster. It's something for you to hang your troubles and burdens on, right? That's why spirituality is the thing, right? You become lighter when you let go of the things you've been carrying that you think has gotten you through the storm in that moment, and now it's summertime or springtime. The storm is over. Time to take off the coats. That's all I'm saying. Like, we done got like 10 minutes there. What's going on, everybody? Coach Linda.
Amy.
Coach Debbie.
And this is Coach's Corner, where we help people change their relationship with food and fitness. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We already started.
Yeah.
So, so I was going to talk about leadership, but I think let's make it short. Let's make it short. I'll mention leadership, but I feel like some days when we have these things, I feel like it's just my day to fucking talk, and I hate it. By the way, I hate like just taking up time and not getting able to hear all of you guys' thoughts. But
planting seeds, bro.
Ironically,
Can't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it a little bit. John sent me a thing today where he was talking about like, you know, you're a good leader if you hate being a leader. And I was like, I absolutely do hate being a leader, like all the time. Like, talk to me for a little bit, I'll be like, I fucking hate this type of shit. Like, because of the things you have to deal with, the things that are happening. And then the next thing was, proud of you, love you, brother, right? I don't know how many times John has told the man he loves him in his life. I don't. I really don't. But if you know John,
say it to you.
it ain't many.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe this morning or yesterday.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not really
his thing. Fair.
Yeah.
And it was after that. It was after that moment where I walked into the building with him. He was willing to go in there by himself. And you know what's funny? I can think of another moment. I can think of moments where I've done that for each and every one of you, where I've walked with you in spite of you being able to do it on your own. And that has been like some of your biggest growth moments, and definitely a building or a bond of our trust, right? Race. It was literally after practice when you cried and you weren't sure if you should, and that was the cafe. Like I can literally
Those are the
look
moments.
at,
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can think of 3 other moments for each of us where I'm like, I was thinking way different moments.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Right? Like, but that's the thing though. Like, it's not one time. The bonds we've built are not a one time. You were here for me. Now I'm just loyal to you forever. No, it's like, okay. I trust you more. I trust you more.
I want to ask.
I trust you more.
What was the biggest moment, do you think, that
For you?
was there for you?
What was it for you?
It's a day of crying.
So which day?
That was when I left. Well,
Which day?
I don't know. Gosh, there's a lot along the way, but the freshest one is definitely when I left my house, got wicked sick, and then had to move out of my house. Nobody has. That was crazy. Like the way that you were there for me was.
No.
I don't know anything like that.
Now you do.
So that?
Are we going down the line?
I guess so.
Okay.
I got mine locked and loaded.
Yeah.
It's ready.
Keep that thing on me.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were talking a lot. Am I on now?
There
Cool.
you go.
I guess what initially came to mind is when I came to the space. It was back in May. Somebody was lingering around town, kind of doing some messed up shit. I think that one sticks out just because that was like the first time that I like looked to a man for protection. And that really hit me. I mean, I had a lot of reflection to do around that, and I was really like, both of you, but even just, talking with you a little bit more about what you had already previously done in that situation, and being like, oh wow, shit, like things are happening, I don't even know they're happening, and people got my back, and that was like, I just cried a lot about that.
Because I love you. What's yours? I'm curious.
Dang. the one that came to mind was me going back to my apartment and seeing my stuff out on the curb.
Okay.
And I was
I
was like, I just had a moment where I was like, there's been plenty of times in my life where shit like this has happened, like too many times. And I was like, oh, this again, And then I'm like, what am I gonna do? But then my next thought was, who can I call, right? And I don't think I normally have that thought. And there was like a clear answer. It was just like, oh, I could call Lynn, I could call up my boy. And I was like, since when have I ever, like, even when I say Tyler, I learned to dance with Tyler. Even when I was living with Tyler, I don't think I had that feeling that like he had my back in all instances,
Okay.
Like I would still call up Tyler for things, but I think that was one of those instances where there was embarrassment too. And I'd never had formed a bond with a dude like that, where I was like, oh, there's embarrassment, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And normally I would take all of that and just pack it up on my back and just, you know, like see what happens. Yeah. And that was the first time I was like, nah, I got my, you know, my Trump card. Let me call up. I don't know why I said Trump. My Exodia. My Blue Eyes White Dragon.
There you go. Just go keep naming cards. Powerful cards.
Yeah, I think that was the moment for me where I was like, all right, and I called you up, and I think the way that you handled it, like, diffused the situation in a way where I feel like if my boy had called me up, I would have done the same in that way. You know, like, they didn't add fuel to the fire. It didn't, like, not accomplish anything, you know?
Fair. Over the phone.
Yeah, it was over the phone, too, yeah. You weren't even there.
I didn't even come in person. It was over the phone. That was good. Yeah, I mean, and that's what it means to be, like, truly there for somebody, right? Like, I'm not taking anything I didn't have and then trying to pretend I had it. Does that make sense? I was just using who I am to be there for you guys, right? And it's so funny because, like, when people don't know, they'll be like I laugh when y'all will see somebody, hey, Lenny's so busy, he wouldn't pick up the phone. Y'all be like, pfft, he would definitely pick up the phone. Like, and they're like, really? Because you're right, it is rare to do that for a lot of people, but for me, I was like, I worked hard to be that person, right? To be that person that people can depend on. I was just telling, and when I left here, again, I took LJ last night, worked on the porch, came home, and then after that, as it was like, we don't have no milk, I'm gonna run out, I don't want to, but I'm gonna run out. I was like, it's fine. She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll go to the store. Then I had to go pick up the juice from Garth. I swung it by here, I came back. Like, I'm doing all this stuff. I am beat, like tired, bruh. And I'm still doing this stuff. And I forget, I don't think it was you. You said something, but somebody said something, like my boy was like, yo, you really be like, you say you really did all that? Could be me. I said, I worked for this. I worked to be this person. I said, I'm not gonna fail him now. And just go, right? To me, leadership is a burden that I gladly carry, right? Like, it's not always easy. Things happen, you know what I'm saying? But like, I gladly carry it, even though I hate it. Like, again, if you knew before, I used to say stuff like, yeah, I don't want to lead. Someone else could lead. They could be the face of GID. I'm fine with it. Like, I really was. I still would be okay with it to this day. If someone showed up and was just like, I have everything you need for a front band, you can play the background. But that would mean so much. That would mean that they would have to be a person who can do the things that I did to get here. They would have to be someone people can rely on, depend on. You would have to be consistent. People would have to call you in the moment of turmoil. You need to be that person in order to lead other people, because so many people have been hurt, betrayed, undermined, overlooked. And again, to be a leader is to make sure that that's not the people you serve, right? That you don't do that to the people you serve. That's my personal opinion on leadership in general. So I'm grateful that all of you are here the way you are. I couldn't do this without help, which I came to realize the more I've started to do it. But even more so, it really, at this point, I think it's important to know that I'm at the point where if it was about me, I would stop. I would be like, I need time. It's been rough. It's getting rougher. I'm good. I took on another challenge to be the person, to be the bigger person for when the things change once again. Like, I'm preparing myself by disciplining myself all over again to be the person who cannot fail in the moment when it comes. That's why I train. Training for me is that mental toughness, ability to stay still, ability to move when necessary, right? I don't care how sore I am. If I need to get something done, I can do it. That's important to me, right? Like, that's super important to me, right? I don't think y'all heard that story where Lauren fell off the couch and I grabbed her before she hit the ground. And Ashley talks about that like it was a superhero moment. But to me, it wasn't. To me, it was like, I can see her roll and I just, like, I didn't even think about it. right? And caught her right before she hit the ground. I mean, she fell off the top of the couch. So that baby hit the ground
back
at
of the
that.
couch?
Yeah, baby hit the ground at that. That's bad, right? Grabbed her by her literal clothes and stopped her, right? And I was like, oh my God. Like my heart was in my throat, bro. Like it felt terrible, but also I like just held her and cried, right? It was one of those moments where I realized that I was becoming something. Like the old me, I don't know if I would have even moved. You get what I'm saying? And like, so that was a big moment for me to realize that I cared about this little person more than I cared about whatever I was dealing with at the time, right? So I just brought that here. I brought that family, that sense of community and family here. And I think everybody's just resonating with it. That's what I think it is. So the more we expand, the more family members we find, the more community we grow, I'm excited. Hands down excited. But I guess we should ask you all what leadership means for you. I just figured I would say what it means for me, but I'm not the only person here. So what's it mean for you? You want to start? Yeah, let's let Devin end. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Hey, yo. Yo, that's hilarious. All right.
You know,
I do have to go to the bathroom, but I'll wait. I'll wait. I do every time.
I'm done.
All right. Leadership to me means like role modeling, definitely, through behavior, through action, holding space, creating some type of structure, I think is part of it for people to function in. We were just talking about how kids need structure and consistency, and I think adults definitely need the same.
Facts.
We also have been talking about like the similarities between what children and adults need, and that's part of my conversation about communication. But yeah, role modeling, holding space, structure, and consistency, absolutely, definitely a thing.
I would say action, accountability, transparency, humility, and consistency.
All right. We're talking about leadership. I'd say for me, leadership is all of those things, but I don't think it's like the quality of a leader. That's just the quality of like caliber human, I think, to me. Leadership is like having the presence of mind and the awareness to see the full spectrum of the people that you're leading and hold space for them to share their gifts best. Because I think there's like, you can hold space for people to share gifts, but it may not be the best way for them to use their gifts. And if you're a good leader, you can see, you know, even further beyond them, like how their gifts could be used best in a team sense, in a community sense, and you facilitate that.
Fair. Yeah, that's my current struggle.
I like that.
But it's also like we were talking about fear before the camera was on, and doing things afraid. And I have shared openly when I'm like, I don't know if I fucking trust you on that, but I'll try trusting you, right? Like, because I'm not sure, right? And I think that actually does create the desire to want to feel like, to prove that all the time that I've invested or all the time we spent together was not wasted for people, which is so interesting to me. I can think back like for myself, for like, you know, people I've admired and looked up to, but I never really thought I was the person to look up to. I didn't. And I used to really look at myself in a whole different light. And the more I grew, the more people started to gather. It's like, oh, that's a big deal. And then I'm like, really? I'm just some fucking guy who swings a kettlebell around every once in a while and tells people what he thinks. That's really all I do all day, you know? I was thinking of myself as not being that. And stepping into owning that is creating new things. Like, no, I am more than that. I am a leader. I do motivate people. I speak on truth in a way that the world needs to hear. Like, that type of stuff is important, right? So it's important to, even affirming who you are is important for the moving forward in the journey, right? Like, it's a real big part that I think a lot of people just don't necessarily own. honesty and integrity are huge for me. Those things can only be built by the superpower of consistency, 100%, right? Efficacy has literally to do with consistency, right? So don't be more efficient, have more efficacy, right? Efficient is fine. I'm not saying don't work on that. I'm saying efficacy will change your life. That's why we're doing the challenge. The challenge is to make you realize what you're truly capable of. When I was talking to you, I almost missed my 75 hard challenge that night because she was talking. I was just like this because it was a long conversation, right? And I'm not even saying to like talk shit. I'm being like really. I fell asleep. I woke up at 11:30 and had 30 ounces of water to drink and 10 pages to read. Yeah, I was like. I just gotta get it done. I just gotta get it done. Oh God.
The pages.
Right? And I got it done, but I was like, I've been noticing that. I have been in this like trance-like flow state lately because of that moment. Like I know I'm locked in now. So the hardest part for me now is making sure that I get up early enough to stay locked in. That's my hardest part right now. And it's working. It's working so far. We're only a fifth of the way there, but it's working so far.
Only a fifth.
I'm not even counting.
Yeah.
I don't want to count.
I had to count that. Then somebody asked me, well, how far are we in? It's a fifth. God damn it. Like that was it. Yeah. So again, I'm just grateful to be able to do that and have those conversations with you guys. And again, hear your own opinions on let people hear how leadership has affected all of you. So I think we can end it there, yes?
Facts.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you are interested in joining a community with authentic leadership,
Hey.
go to www.gettingitdaily.com, or you can check us out on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram under the name Getting It Daily. We'd love to have you join us. All right?
Find out about us.
Till next time, this is Coach Lyndon.
Amy.
Coach Debbie.
Signing off.
Peace.
Peace.